Hello YouTube, I'm coming to you from my bathroom this week because the lighting is a little better and there is a lot less glare on my glasses. So I have a question and it's probably easy to answer. Maybe I'll just have a seat on my toilet here. This looks dumb. Okay, so anyway, do you want to travel? Do you like to travel? Do you want to see the world? So your answer is probably yes. I wonder if I can just kneel down. No. Okay, so basically, if you've already begun traveling, I'm sure you're in love with it. And if you haven't begun traveling, I'm sure you really want to travel. I'm making this video to tell you that it is absolutely possible and absolutely feasible for you to travel and see the world, especially if you suck at money, like me. My back is going to hate me when the recording is done. There are so many misconceptions out there about traveling, whether it be domestically or internationally, about how expensive it is, how much it can cost you. A lot of people have the idea in their head that, oh, traveling is a pipe dream. It's unattainable. Traveling is this thing that is way out here and I'm way down here and there's no way to connect the dots. But that's not really true because all you have to do is a little bit of research. So I have not been very many places yet, however, I just recently booked my first trip to Europe, which is happening in November, which is 5 months away. But I'm still ecstatic about it, and I could not be thrilled, or I could not be more thrilled, because I'm very thrilled. Once upon a time, I was totally under the assumption that traveling anywhere, even within the United States, which is where I'm from, is totally impossible and I'll never be able to do it and it would be a dream come true and I'll have to win the lottery and yada yada yada. But none of that is true. Here I am going to Norway in November and the entire trip cost me less than $500. And $500 seems like a lot, take into consideration the fact that I said the entire trip is costing me less than $500, which includes airfare both ways, transfers from the airport to the hotel itself, and all taxes included. About $457 for me and $457 for a friend of mine that's going with me. The point of this whole video is to aid you in the process of becoming a nomad. Step 1 is to have a job that pays a livable wage. A livable wage is a dollar amount per hour that you earn at your job that is above the minimum wage. Minimum wage is the absolute minimum that your state is legislated to pay you for your work. However, minimum is not synonymous with livable in the states. And there are several states that pay less than what's considered a livable wage to their workers. Now, the reason it is so beneficial for you to have a job that pays you a livable wage is because it allows you to earn more money, because it provides you to save more money. A little backstory about moi. I have never been good with my money. I've been quite frivolous in years past. The word budget has never been in my vocabulary. It's only been within the past year that I've actually been able to keep myself on a relatively tight-ish sort of budget. Only within the past year have I actually been able to have a saving. That being said, that is why I have always considered traveling, especially traveling abroad, to be the sort of pipe dream and sort of this unattainable feat. So finding a job that is willing to pay you a livable wage as opposed to a minimum wage is not always the easiest thing. They aren't as widely available as minimum wage jobs, and finding a job that pays you a livable wage that you don't hate every day of your life is even less common. But if you can secure a job that you don't really mind, that doesn't make you want to rip your internal organs out through your throat, that pays you a livable wage, then I highly urge you to take that opportunity should it present itself and run like the wind. So you're probably thinking, even if I make a livable wage or a decent amount of money at my job, it's gotta cost a shit ton of money to travel. That can be true, however, that is not always the case. So step 2 is to learn where to look. Now, as probably everybody knows, airfare can be quite expensive, especially round-trip flights. You just have to know which airlines offer the cheapest rates. Also, you are more likely to find a cheaper airfare if you fly out during a week and fly back in during a week as opposed to on a weekend, as well as going to wherever you're going during the off-season, or that is the non-touristy season. if you do a little research and kind of play around with it and see which times of year you can find the cheapest airfare, then you'll kind of be able to gauge over time what's considered the off-season and what's not. So that being said, to get to Norway in November, I am flying Norwegian Air. My outbound flight from New York JFK to Oslo is 274 euros and 40 cents. And the inbound flight from Oslo to JFK is 291 euros and 20 cents for a grand total of 577 euros and 10 cents. 577 euros is roughly 651 US dollars and 51 cents. So $651 for round trip flight to Oslo, Norway for 2 travelers. Yeah, I think I would say that that's damn good. Now I'm going to be suggesting some airfare websites that I've used in the past to be able to find some cheap airfare. I am a fan of, wait for it because this is a really clever domain name, fly.com. It looks like this. It's pretty straightforward. For the sake of a random example, let's say I want to go from New York to Paris, France. And it's loading, and it's checking, and we're waiting. So look at that. Round trip flight, $491. Round trip, taxes included. For one traveler, that is not bad at all. It really is as easy as that, and it's cheap. Holy shit. So another website I like to utilize is called Skyscanner. Pretty much the same deal. Looks like this, skyscanner.com. Now, a little trick that I learned, depending on where you're going, round trip flights can still be a little bit more expensive, no matter where you leave from. No matter what time of year, no matter what day of the week, it'll still be expensive out the ass. If the round trip flights that you are finding are still a little bit out of your price range, you may be able to hack them by booking 2 separate one-way trips. So you really just have to know where to look, who to book through, when to go, and you have to be flexible in terms of when you're looking to go. So that was step 2. Step 3, saving money for the trip once everything is booked. This hair is really bothering me. There we go. Oops. Well, hair problems aside, if saving money is something you are not good at, as I have been in the past, there are a few pointers that I have for you. If you have some sort of bank that offers this feature where you can set aside money automatically every day in increments that you choose, then I would highly advise you go with those banks. For example, I have a mobile bank known as Simple, and they are the best thing ever. They have a feature called Goals. When your paycheck gets deposited, we're not going to talk about what I have. You have the option to set up a goal. For example, this one is rent. You type in the amount of money you want to have saved, you type in the date that you want to have it saved by, and it tells you how much money per day you need to set aside to reach that goal. So what I have found to be more beneficial for me personally is, as well as having money automatically set aside into these goals, if I have a little bit of surplus cash from a bigger paycheck one week, then I set aside more money into that goal. So yeah, I highly recommend some sort of banking account that has some kind of feature like that, even just a good old classic savings account that you can transfer money into and not touch until your trip or until whatever it is that you are saving for. So on to step 4, and I think it will be the last one. This might be the most crucial point of all, is know where to look for deals. Now, I'm not just talking about airfare, I'm talking about the whole package. Because aside from airfare, you also have to worry about taxes, you have to worry about transportation from the airport to the hotel or hostel or Airbnb. So there is a wonderful app that I discovered a couple of months ago called Travel Pirates. It looks like this. As you can see, it says newest deals here, vacations, flights. So basically, this is how I found my trip to Oslo. You see that one right at the beginning there? Feel Alive in British Columbia, 4 nights in Vancouver for $487, including round-trip flights, Airbnb, airport transfers, and all taxes. Now, $487 per person. A lot of these deals are based on a 2-person trip. Deal overview is very important to look at if you use Travel Pirates because it says right there, the first bullet point, based on 2 adults. Now if you're looking to fly solo, there are deals out there for one person. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions regarding something I haven't covered that you're curious about, or regarding an elaboration on something I did cover, please feel free to comment. As always, I'll be updating you on my travel hacks and tips throughout the year. If you really like this video, feel free to like it. If you feel like sharing it, feel free to share it. So have a wonderful night or day, depending on where you are. And I will see you next time, probably in a week or so. Alright, bye.